Hello there, Uncle Rusty here, and welcome to Society Sunlit Valley. This is a Stardew Valley-like mod. So if you enjoy Stardew Valley, you are going to love this. And if you love Minecraft, you're going to love this. And if you thought the two making a baby and creating something spectacular is going to be awesome, well, then you were right. Ideally, how I like to start is I like to find a village. But you don't need a village for this particular mod pack. Now, I just need to find my chest. All of this stuff right over here. And there's a couple of things you're going to want to do. Number one, we get a backpack. You don't always get a backpack, so if you feel like you need to, get yourself a backpack, and you should be good to go. I'm going to grab that. Now, you'll notice that there's a lot of pumpkins. I'm going to get these pumpkins because, like in Stardew Valley, we are going to want to sell a whole bunch of stuff. And selling a whole bunch of stuff makes a whole lot of money, which is great. Because in this particular mod pack, the main aim of the game is to make an absolute metric truck ton of money. I'm just going to grab a little bit of wood so that we can, get to where we need to. And the reason I want to find a village is just so that we have, like, that extra bit of safety. This is Silk Cocoon, and if we break it open, we'll find some goodies. Now, the map is fairly huge, so we need to be careful about that. Also, that is a huge cavern. You'll notice that there are mobs down there, but in this mod pack, mobs do not spawn on the surface. Now you might be asking me, oh, but don't you have it on easy or peaceful? No, we do not. By default, mobs do not spawn on the surface in this mod pack. It's to give you that Stardew Valley feel. Now, unless you build your farm underground, which I wouldn't recommend, you will not have any mobs spawn on top. And that does mean that you can go days without sleeping because those annoying phantoms do not spawn either. Now, I seem to have spawned on an island, which I'm not a massive fan of. Now, every crop has a season, and you'll see there's these random seeds that you can get. These are beetroot seeds, and they only grow in autumn. Now, you'll notice in the top left corner that we are currently in early spring day 1. That means crops planted in autumn will not grow during spring. Fairly simple matter of science. I am going to open this hat bag, and what do I have? Antlers? You know what? Sure. What I want to do is I want to try and find a nice spot where we can make our farm and grow it in a way that's going to make us a lot of money. Now, if you have played Stardew Valley, you'll know that rain is essential. Minecraft Social Sunlit Valley, or whatever you want to call this one, works a tad bit differently. And I will explain that as we go along. But you're not going to be farming the conventional way you think you might be farming in Minecraft. They might be calling me a fool, which is fine. I've been called many things. But a fool, I am not. If you want to play the mod for yourself, check out the link below, download the CurseForge launcher, and then go do the thing and download the mod. It installs itself, it does what it needs to, it's brilliant. Do I have a pickaxe? Yes, I do. So I'm just going to grab some coal, the usual old Minecraft stuff. Now you might also be like, oh, but Uncle Rusty, don't you upgrade stuff the way you're supposed to? No. Upgrading here works much differently than you think it does. Now, I cannot craft a stone pickaxe in this version of the mod. And you might be like, okay, but why? It doesn't make sense. Here, we use a very different mechanic. And I will explain all of that once I have found a suitable place. But I want to show you that we still do the plain old Minecrafting part of this. And it's not all just mods and crazy stuff happening and things that'll blow your brain out. And, you know when you're mind blown? Some of us don't have minds to blow, like mine. But, some of us are born with other talents, and some of us are born with brains and talent, and some of us are born with just talent. I am born with nothing. The water is going to help us later on with fishing and farming as well. So ideally, I'd like to find a nice spot where I can also find farm animals and build some big buildings later on. I am going to grab these as well because we're going to make a bit of money doing this. And that is going to be pretty cool. Once we make some nice cash. And you'll notice there's like ducks and emus and geese and things like that. I would say right-click them as you go, because you'll notice in the bottom left corner, I am making experience happen by just doing simple things like mining, looking for loot, things like that. I also want to find a village so that we can, you know, steal from them. Where's my map? And why is it not mapping the way I need it to? Come to me, all ye who are burdened, and I will lay my life on the line for you. Look how beautiful and honestly horrifying the water is. Legitimately. That does look like a nice little dirt palace. Don't know how to feel about this. But I'm going to go in here regardless. There are some grapes there that I want to get. Yeah, this is a pre-built dirt house. Someone has been here. Ah, and the house got blown up by a creeper. How nice. But I also want to spend the entire time looking for a place to lay my head down. Excellent. More seeds. You won't get seeds from every single thing you hit, so be aware of that. And I think we might just actually just make a boat here and try and travel until we find some civilization. There we go. And drop that there. All right, let's go look for civilization. And I could use some food, so, you know. That could also help us. But if I see anything that resembles village-esque stuff, I will make my way there and we will become one with the villagers. I do want to grab this because I need the grapes. Thank you. Now you might be asking me, do we have a list of quests? Yes, we do. Once I have put my feet down on dry land, I will go through all the quests that we can do together. And then, hopefully, if you've downloaded this, we can do everything side by side. Although, please feel free to do your own thing. Don't listen to me. I'm just here to tell you about this mod and, you know, influence you to get it, because that's what influencers do, I suppose. Nighttime has arrived, and you will notice there are no mobs. Despite us being on normal difficulty, there are no mobs. So, if you ever wanted to put your mind at rest, now's the time. Someone's abandoned little shack hole here. Perfect. You wouldn't mind, right? Perfect. I'll just steal everything here. Ooh! Alright, I am going to put my backpack to use here. Put everything away that we just don't need, and then grab everything. Because we're kind of sitting on a little bit of money over there as well. Now, I know I've been saying we'll be making money ASAP, and I kind of lied, because I probably should have found civilization first. But it's okay. It's fine. These things happen, you know. Sometimes in life, things happen. And there's... I got a lantern for that. Thank you. I got a lantern for that. I will grab this barrel. Everything will start making sense once I find civilization. Once I find a place to rest my weary head. That might be ore. Drowned still spawn though, by the way, because they technically spawn under the ground. But we have a mod called glowing ores. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. My word, look at that. That is simply gorgeous. I see civilization. Civilization, yes. This is where we will dock our farm. Yeah, this is where I want to be. Excellent. Okay, perfect. Finally have what we need. And it's at least rainy season here. So I am just going to make this our house for now. Welcome to our new farm area. So, the reason I wanted to be close to the village is there are some stuff that I'd like to loot from them, but there's also a couple of weird, wonderful things happening. There they are. One, I'm going to grab as much as I can from them. So this cartography table has to come with me. And there's a couple of village areas that we want to sort out. You'll notice I'm busy clearing out a couple of quests here, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Also, this is a hay golem, which I have no idea how to explain because this is brand new to the mod pack. So, if anyone knows about the golems, feel free to, you know, Let me know in the comments section. Just in case I goof and give misinformation where I probably shouldn't. You know what I mean? Hello, young villager. Villagers that don't have a lot. Those are also slimes, but they are friendly, which I will explain later. Again, we're not anywhere close to that point in our existence yet. And y'all have nothing. It's no wonder this village looks like a ramshackle amalgamation of madness, but it's fine. I'm going to grab all these potatoes. And the reason I'm grabbing as much as I can is because we are eventually going to need to sell stuff. We are. We will eventually need to be selling some stuff, but until such time, I'm not going to worry too much. Hay here. And you'll notice that I'm grabbing a lot of the hay. We also have found a yard yearly workbook, which I'm going to read, and then we will discuss the skill tree. Oh, yes, please. Can I grab this, though? Is that even a thing? Please? Yes. Please, let me grab the sprinkler. Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. Stop surrounding him. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why? A rotting slime that spawns zombies. Okay, sure. That's what I need in my life. Sure. That wasn't supposed to happen at all. Weird. Real weird. Don't know how to feel about that. Do not know how to feel about that. Don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Are they about to murder all my villagers? They are. Yo! No! Okay, I'm gonna have to kill them. Those slimes need to die. They are causing me a heartache. Well, this is a chaotic first episode. Okay, one of those slimes died. Okay, just... No. Nope. Nope. Stop making those noises. There we go. Saved you, buddy. Yeah, that could have been very dangerous. That's unideal, in all honesty. That is very much unideal. Also, you'll notice that there's these balloons over here. You could shoot them down for, like, some nice loot. We're not going to do that, though, because we don't have a bow and arrow. Now, I'm going to make a nice little area over here. I did take a bed with me. Now, because we are essentially just, you know, nowhere near any mobs or something, because they don't spawn on the surface, I am going to make sure that my bed is just chilling out in the open. Now, let's get our essentials down. We got that. I have no cobblestone, so that's fantastic. However, if we now go to the quests, welcome, and you can read these on your own time. I'm not going to go through them in great depth, but this is essentially how we start off the mod pack, and I have no space for anything. There's a chest, so we'll put the chest down at least for now. There, and then I would like more trees here, you know, just to vibrify the area. That's not a word, though. I'm pretty sure that's not a word. All right, but we can go through these quests. You can configure the pack. You can mute some of the sounds if you're not happy. Food works a little bit differently here as well. You can claim chunks. You can do feed the beast chunks. There's transportation as well. Teleportation does not exist here. There's server owners, there's shaders, and there is the skull cavern, which we will dive into. Now, we're going to start with quest 1. And these are the basics. So, upgrading tools, which we will discuss. When did I find a geode? All right, upgrading tools. We have a smithing table, which I'm just going to plop down here. Now, you'll notice if I grab everything in here, and we actually do have cobblestone, so that's fine by me. I do want to make another chest. I'm just going to put this in here for now and just put the cartography table here. And I want to expand this chest because it's too small. That's not how you do that. All right. I'm just going to put this here and then just transfer everything in there. All right. I am going to take the brass coin, my wooden tools, and the cobblestone. Now, you will notice if I try and make any sort of cobblestone tools, we cannot make cobblestone tools. Now you might be saying, Uncle Rusty, how do we upgrade stuff? So over at the smithing table, you want a brass coin, you'll want a wooden pickaxe, and you'll want cobblestone. And you'll do this for all of your items. And that is how you get an upgrade. It costs actual in-game money to do this. So I would highly recommend the sooner you can get this done, the better. But for now, wooden tools will have to suffice. So I am going to make a hoe here, and I'm going to make a shovel as well, because we need to do this. And with that being done, we have our basic tools that you will get when playing any kind of farming simulator game. Now, how do we make money? We want to make a shipping bin. And this is fairly straightforward. All you'll want to do is grab some logs. You want to make a trapdoor. You only need one trapdoor for this, but it's fine. I do not have enough logs, so that's a bad look on my end. That's dark wood. Why would I want dark wood? I'm just going to take the trumpet. You know what? I'm just going to do this. There you go. How about that? You can't tell me what to do. Make one chest, and then you'll put that there, and you'll put that there, and we have a shipping bin. And the shipping bin you can place wherever you feel like. I'm just going to place it right over here. And now what we do is, remember all those pumpkins? And remember all that hay? And remember all of the good stuff? Yeah, I'm about to sell all of this stuff. Because you'll notice that there is a gold icon over a lot of the stuff. And what that means is anything that has a gold icon on it, you can sell by placing it in the shipping bin. And that is how you make money in this particular mod pack. Now, I am going to keep my spring seeds on me. And ideally, I want to sell stuff that I'm just simply not going to need. Like these berries. You might be like, but Uncle Rusty, how are you supposed to eat? Don't you worry. Food is a secondary problem. All right? Food is a secondary problem. I'm going to sell the potatoes. I'm going to keep one to show you that you cannot plant potatoes the way you feel you can in plain old vanilla Minecraft. So we'll make some more bread here. And there we go. Now I have food. And anything pumpkins. And this is why you want to grab as much as you can in the wild, so that you can get an early start on anything you want to sell. Now, I'm just going to plop everything in here for now. And then we will focus on making a house later. But for now, I am just going to sell this. And that is our early game moneymaker. Boom. We get some seeds. We've already made a hoe. Now, how you normally would make a farm in Minecraft does not work the same way it works in this particular mod pack. One, you'll notice, no seeds. No seeds whatsoever. All right, cool. Now you might be like, Uncle Rusty, why don't you just build it next to the water? And then I'll cough my lungs out and explain to you. You cannot build a farm over the water because the water does not work the same way as you would think. This water bucket is your bread and butter. Now, I am just going to clear out a space here. And you'll notice the hoe actually clears out a pretty big area where we can work. So, I'm going to start. This might not be completely ideal in the beginning. Also, if you see this, you can mine it that way. And you might find something nice in the dirt, like a nice little sapling. Like this particular sapling that can grow for you. Or you can find a tin can which will sell for 1 gold. Either or, you're still finding something. I do want to make it a little bit lighter here. Once again, mobs do not spawn on the surface. So I am just going to put some light here so y'all can see what I'm doing. And at 6 a.m. every morning, the shipping bin empties. I don't know who comes to clean it out, and I don't know who is our big old buyer, but this helps a lot. So, you know, I'm not going to be one to complain about people buying my crops and my tin cans. No, sir. You won't see me complaining. But the only way to make money in this, let's make sure that's a spring seed. The only way you're able to wet these crops is, one, if it rains, which you hope for, or you use your can, and that can will make sure to water your crops. Now, The sooner we water these crops, the better. Make sure to water them every day. They only have a 1-day lifespan. If they do not get watered, they die. So don't do that. Now, remember what I said about a potato? You'll notice this is tilled land. I'm right-clicking and cannot place the potato. That is because a fully grown potato cannot be used as a seed in this mod pack. So you might be like, oh, but Uncle Rusty, how am I supposed to get potatoes? That is where the villagers are going to come in. Now, I'm just going to plant 7, and it upsets me greatly that I missed a spot there. I hate it so much. Now, I probably shouldn't have told all the way here if I don't have seeds. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, these grape seeds work a little bit differently. These you do not plant on tilled soil. This you can just plant anywhere else, and they will grow wherever you need them. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hate it. I hate that it did that. I'm so upset that it did that. Now, I am looking for anything else here. We do want to get sugarcane going as well. We've luckily got some cauliflower seeds. And we'll plant them there. I know someone in the comment section is going to yell at me for planting my crops not correctly. But you know what? It is what it is situation at the moment. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to clear a way to get here without having to jump the entire time. But yeah. And now we have a blackcurrant tree. And you'll notice, look at that. They have grown some fruit for us. Look at that. I do not want the dirt there. And I didn't mean to trim my tree down. But, you know, I'm going to do it regardless. I'm just going to give this tree a little trim. But that is how we get some fruit from the fruit trees. Look at that. Now we've got some blackcurrants. And again, I'm going to sell it. Just like this. And if we check our quests, you'll see that we've got farm buildings. So there's fishing. And we've got some plowing the field. And something under advanced farming, which is slime ranching. Which we're not going to get into right now. You'll notice we went past a barrel golem and a hay golem. We will figure it out later. Villagers work much differently in this particular game. Every villager has a particular role that allows you to sell and buy certain stuff. But we're not going to focus on that right now. We do want to get the brass coins, which we should have somewhere. Why do I not have brass coin? That's real rude, in all honesty. How do I not have a brass coin right now? I want to keep my coal, and I want to keep the slime block for later. Can sell the egg. It's not the biggest thing in the world. And we'll put that away. And I guess, you know what? We'll sleep. Why not? Let's just sleep. It's been a long day. Beautiful. You hear that ding? So, oh, and it's raining. Excellent. Beautiful. It's raining. It's perfection. I'm just going to do this so that they stay watered overnight. But you'll see, all of our crops now are watered, and this is what you want. You cannot place a water block in the middle. It will not keep your farmland moisturized. And now we have money. Money, Sonny. Why? Why? Why would you do that, lightning? Anyway. Alright, so the lightning seems to be upset that we're making money, but that's fine. Now, skills and levels. Remember when I said we had skills and levels? Perfect. So, I'm going to read these 2 books, and then I'm going to show you what I mean. So, we'll read this, Mining Monthly and Combat Quarterly. When I open my skill tree, you'll notice that we have skills for farming, husbandry, mining, fishing, adventuring, and books. These books give you unique things that we have to find out in the world. However, for farming, I get +1 to axe efficiency. For husbandry, we have nothing. For mining, pickaxe efficiency and fortune 1. Nothing in fishing, adventuring, 2 damage, and looting 1. And that is also how you will do this. Now, it seems to have disabled my shaders, and I don't know why it does that. But thank you. Don't do that. I think I is unfortunately doing the thing that I don't need it to do. So I'm going to have to do some key rebinding. But now we also have a bank. This little bank terminal is going to keep our money. So I'm going to put it here. And now we have a place to store all of our money that we need. Great. Super. Now, villagers work very differently. Now, ideally what I want to do before we start with villagers is I want to build a nice place for them. And I'm probably going to steal the villager houses over yonder. But until then, villagers fulfill a particular role. Those roles vary between what we need and what we'll have. The banker, which is what we need, will give us some stuff for later on. We also want a bounty board, which I'm going to make. And that is going to also sort out a lot of our stuff. Now, I know the episode's been here, there, and everywhere. However, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I will answer as best as I can. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build the village off camera so that y'all don't, get bored with me building a brick house. And I am going to clear out an area, and then eventually what we're going to do is we're going to start getting through quest line 1 and working our way through the game as we see fit. Because you'll notice we do not get seeds from cutting down grass, and we want to make a lot of money. Now, we could just make money from all of this, but we also want to keep our villagers protected from the slimes, because slime ranching can be dangerous. But that is another time for another era. And by the time y'all come back, this village will be ready. That's all the time I have. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you do, please do consider leaving a like, subscribing for more Society Sunlit Valley. If you want to play this, check out the link in the description below. You will have a fun time. Let me know how your farm is going. And until next time, Uncle Rusty says, watch out for that lightning. Hello there, Uncle Rusty here, and welcome to AILA, or AILA. New horror game that came out. And as y'all know, I don't play horror games, but,